You're watching the Running Report show on Fan Hub TF. I'm Joshua Potts. He's Aaron Potts.
And we're giving you running news presented for and by the culture.
We got another fire show for you guys coming this week. Honestly, I'm super excited because we got high school greatness really from this past week, and it's really getting better and better. We got this newcomer. Well, he ain't really a newcomer on the scene, but he's making waves in Texas, and we got to talk about it. We have a world lead in the 100, and people, it came out of nowhere. I got to talk about that. I'll get on my soapbox on it. Then we got our Bell Lab question, which is a question that always comes from you guys. So stick around to the end to see if your question was included on this week's Bell Lab. We got 4 topics, 4 questions, and 4 laps to go. Let's get into it. 4 laps to go. Let's get into this high school phenom, Aaron. This girl from Texas, Flower Mound, Natalie Cook, the Oklahoma State commit, ran at the Stanford Invitational 15:25:93, a high school national record in the 5,000. People's jaws were on the floor. This girl has been amazing. She already ran number 2 in the indoor this year for the 2 mile in 9:44. She won East Bay and Fast Lane and cross country meets, and now she has the 5K national record. Bro, it has been crazy, and we brought in a Texas expert to really break this down. Craig Lutz, a phenom in high school, a phenom at Texas as well. He actually went to the rival high school that Natalie Cook now goes to in Flower Mound. So Craig, I just gotta ask you before we get to Aaron, bro, what did you think of Natalie Cook's performance? It was insane.
This 5K was awesome. 15:25 is flying, first off. Second off, that's faster than some of my year's PRs in the 5K in high school. So she is now faster than a generation of Craig Lutz. So that's incredible. I do want to set the record straight. Flower Mound Marcus, where I went, will always be the better school of the Flower Mound Marcus rivalry. But this time is absolutely ridiculous. Plus, she did it in a race where she beat really good runners head to head, which I'm always a big fan of. Like, yes, it's Stanford, it's a time trial style 5K, but at the end of the day, over the last 800 meters, she still had to beat out good runners. Yeah. And I think that's a way better sign of her future years to come than just the time alone. So I think that's awesome. Plus, like, her progression is pretty good. I mean, yeah, it's a track 5K, but like, she, over the last 2 to 3 years, she's been hovering around that 16-minute mark, starting to get under, but then going all the way down to 15:25 is awesome. Her 2 mile this indoor season's awesome. And all of this with, like, supposedly, I mean, I haven't seen her logs written out, but I know her dad, Andrew Cook, is the coach of Flower Mound, who ran at Flower Mound Marcus. She's running 20 to 30 miles a week. So, like,
what?
It seems like they've got a great recipe going on. So
if she's running 20 miles to 30 miles a week, I think she might need to just go pro. I don't even know. That's insane.
I need to rework my training plan. Like, come on now. She's running 20, 30 miles a week. But Aaron, I got to propose the question to you. Then I want to hear from Craig as well. With all these great times that she's doing, she also led the Flower Mound to a 4x-mile national record indoors of 1937, which I believe on that leg, she split 4:44 or something like that. So she's running amazing times. She hasn't ran an open mile this year. But like, with Newberry Park, we live in California, so Newberry Park is like our biggest discussion that we hear from high school track. And then Will Sumner breaking like the indoor national record in the 500, the 600, and he's number 2 in the 800 right now indoors. And then Colin Salmon, 358 indoors, 148 outdoors. Like, these guys are amazing and definitely looking like having the best seasons. But like, bro, is Natalie Cook having the best high school track and field distance season in 2022? I think it's a great argument, and I don't think a lot of people are talking about it, to be honest.
I was thinking about it when Craig was talking, and I'm honestly gonna say, yeah, she is. And the reason I'm thinking she is because her team is going out to races to win. Newberry Park is chasing times. I like that Natalie Cook was at Fast Lane, won that championship, came back in Foot Locker, won that championship too, and then she led her team to a high school 4x-mile national record with 1937 running a 4:44. And if you watch our show, you heard us say that was more impressive than what Newberry Park did in that 4 mile. And then a 9:44, she has the times to back it up with the 9:44 in the 2 mile indoor, and then the 15:25. So there's no denying, because she has the wins, and that's what I have to count against Newberry Park, and I did in cross country, that they didn't run Foot Locker. They're not going up against the best dudes all the time.
Well, like they couldn't run Foot Locker though, Aaron. They couldn't.
I know they couldn't.
That's just the rules. That's just the rules though.
It's whatever. They could have chose Foot Locker over Fastlane. It's whatever. It's whatever. But all I'm saying is Natalie Cook is going up against the best competition, and like Craig said, she was in a meet with college top athletes. Like, I looked this up on Teepers before coming on here. Number 1 is 15:27 for women on the 5K outdoor right now for college, bro. And she ran 15:25. She's in high school and she's better than the collegiates. Like, there's nobody else is doing anything close to that in high school right now.
Yeah, it was pretty astonishing to watch the race, and like a mile to go, she actually like takes the lead and like started leading, trying to win the race, and she has that kind of poise. Craig, are you on the same side of Aaron?
I think I am, and here's really the only reason why I'm not yet. So she's still sitting at a 1600 meter time of 4:44, like you said, and so I think that's the one distance that I feel like she still needs to get. Now it's early outdoor, very early outdoor, and so I'll take a step back. One thing I do like about high school running right now is that they're taking the 5K more seriously. When I was in high school, when you guys were in high school, no one was running the 5K on the track. It wasn't being offered anywhere. But now you got kids going after it, and it's almost like it's going to replace the 2 mile eventually, because like now I don't even care about 3,200 meter times. It's like 1,600, 5K, or 800 down. So I think I still want to see her rip a 16, but that'll come in Texas. She'll have plenty of opportunities. I don't know if they're going to travel a whole lot more outside of the state, but eventually you don't really have to, since there's a good amount of competition. And I know those Newberry Park guys are going to Penn Relays to go after a 4 mile again. I don't know if any of them are doing individual events there, but anyways, I think if she rips a mile time, then at least as of right now, there's nothing I feel like that's going to beat her, especially coming off of the double championship in cross country. That's just, I mean, I know that the guys couldn't ultimately do that, but she did it, and it's awesome. And to be honest, I don't know if you guys remember, but we were standing out there in San Diego watching that race happen live. And I was a little worried she was going to lose it in the second half of that race. Those girls were coming back on her, but she closed it out. So she's a gamer. She's a really good racer, and I really like that. So I'm still going to say that I'll go with Colin for right now. But if Natalie rips a mile, let's say, puts herself firmly into the 4:30s, then I'm Natalie all the way.
Is this just because the rivalry between Flower Mound and Marcus and everything? Is that why you just got to go call?
I'm gonna put her at a higher bar because exactly.
Yeah, okay. I feel you. But we'll see. Don't sleep on Will Sumner though, man. This dude may be going for Michael Granville's record, bro. But we'll see. It's going to definitely be interesting to see how these their seasons definitely play out. It's the beginning of the season, but also another person that had a really big mark in the beginning of this season was Jonathan Jones from Craig, your alma mater of Texas. Went out there indoor, he's running crazy right now. Number 1 in NCAA in the 800, number 1 in NCAA in the 400. I don't know when the last time that really happened, like, to be honest, but his number 1 in the 800 is also number 3 in the world in a 1:45.8 right now. His number 1 in the 400 is number 3 in the world with a 45. And let's not forget that he got second at NCAAs in the 800 indoors this past year, and last year outdoors he got 5th in NCAAs in the 400 and also went to the Olympics. This guy is running phenomenal in the 8 and the 4, but with his recent 1:45 and 45 in the 400 and the 800, and then he also split a 43 4x4. I'm just thinking, the question coming to me is like, is Jonathan Jones a bigger threat in the NCAA championship 400 or 800, Craig? Because either of those events, it looks like he can be the winner at.
Yeah, so, well, he could be the winner right now because obviously number 1 in both, but it's early April. I'm personally way more entertained with a strong 800 just because it's just more entertaining. So I'm going to just say the 800 outright. But let me just run through a couple of things. I mean, a 1:45 in the 800 is awesome. However, I'm going to give a little bit of credit to Pete Watson, the distance coach at Texas. Texas right now has 5 guys under 150. So if you're looking at the strategy of a team in outdoor season and this all of a sudden mid-D crew that Pete Watson is just building, and I know Jonathan is, I believe he's actually training under Flo, but still 4 other guys are breaking 150 right now. I think Pete Watson's mid-D crew can potentially live without Jonathan. So as we get deeper into the season, does the 400 all of a sudden become a better strategic move? I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you run both at NCAAs? Is that unheard of? Is that absolutely impossible? But anyways, my total argument is like Texas. I mean, that 43 split in the 4x4, I think that shows that that's still an event that he has upside in, especially when you look at his 200 times from the last 2 years. Or 2 to 3 years. I had written Jonathan as like, oh, they moved him up to the 800. That's obviously what he's going to do. But then I looked at it and I was like, geez, like he's not slow. To split that 43, I was like, okay, well, they obviously are just, I mean, maybe they have too many options now to try to figure out. But on the 400 side, it's him. And then they have, it's like Will something is their next guy who ran a pretty fast, also a 45. And then there's a big gap. And I know they have a good 4x4 team overall, but they don't have as many, they just don't have as much sprint power on the Texas team. So I wonder if they're going to push Jonathan to the 400.
I think that's great points, Craig, because right now Texas is leading like the rankings overall in NCAA in men and women. So their focus going to NCAA championship is going to be getting that team title, and factoring in just who are we going to have to run the 8, who we're going to have to run the 4 is definitely be a conversation when they get closer to the big dance. But for you, Aaron, what do you think? Jonathan Jones a bigger threat in NCAA championship, 800 or 400?
I think you got to look at it like Craig too, because with A&M and with Texas, like they're both ranked high. Like Texas #1, I think A&M is either second or third.
Number 2.
But yeah, they're second. But we know Brandon Miller. We know Brandon Miller is gonna run the 800.
Yeah,
he's gonna run the 800. That is
he's gonna lead the whole thing. He's gonna lead it from start to finish.
Exactly, and that is his event. He don't care about it, but he's gonna do the 4x4. He's gonna do the 4x4 as well because they need him. But I think that 43, when I'm rewatching the race, this dude was very inspired. You know, he got it from behind, and he's mad. Brandon Miller constantly beats him. He's on the Bowerman list, and then he was like, "Yo, the 4 is my event," and that's how I kind of see it when I look at him. I was like, "You're more of a 4 guy moving up to the 8, and Brandon Miller is an 8 guy." So honestly, I can't see him beating Brandon Miller. Like, I really can't. I don't know if I'm a Brandon Miller stan because he came on Two Black Runners.
That's what it sounds like.
But I can't see him beating Brandon Miller. But can I see him beating Randolph Ross? That's a tough battle too.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say. Randolph Ross, like, his ranking in the 400 in the world is higher than Brandon Miller. You know what I'm saying? If we had to think of it like that. But this is really hard for me to say. I can't really say Brandon Miller. You know what I mean? I don't know. Honestly, I don't really know. But I'm gonna say Randolph Ross just because, you know, I'm a Brandon Miller fan.
I think at the end of the day, whatever he does, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. But like low key, I think this dude's an 800 guy. I think after this year, he's running the 800. I think probably the 4 this year is gonna be the Randolph Ross. I definitely can't. In a world though, I see. For you, Craig, I see Texas getting over A&M in the 800. In one world, in some reality, this man beats Brandon Miller, you feel me, in the 8. But I don't know if it happens this year, but it's going to be interesting to see. I think Jonathan Jones is probably an 800 guy in the future, though. It's going to be interesting. This guy from Barbados is the real deal. And yeah, it's gonna be really fun. But Craig, it was great to have you on the Running Report show this week, bro. We gotta do it again, and definitely when we got Texas powerhouses like all the time, we gotta bring you back on to talk more of track. It's fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
We'll definitely bring you back. NCAAs, we're gonna need to talk to you for sure because it's gonna be a battle.
I hope so.
I want to be the inspiration that sparks the person to live out what I thought I could accomplish. But yeah, man, it was just one of the biggest mistakes that I made in my life, and I regret it because the world would have seen you know, a 42.5. Yeah, hey, forgive me, track and field world. I messed up.
With 2 laps to go, I'm gonna go solo for the rest of the show, and I'm gonna talk about running news I care about. This is a segment on the Running Report show where anybody can come up and really express their strong, passionate feelings about any particular story. I'm gonna talk about a story that low-key we broke on the running world. Ilias Garcia running 9.88 at the Arnie Robinson Invitational at San Diego Mesa College. He's only a freshman competitively at Mount San Antonio College, and this dude went off. First time breaking 10 seconds ever was at the Arnie Robinson Invitational, and he ran 9.88. And like, honestly, like this set the track world on fire for like the past 3 days. A lot of people commenting saying that he didn't run 9.88. There was something wrong with the timing system, blah blah. A lot of stuff going on like that. And before I get fully into my opinion and everything, I went to Mount Sac College and I ran there I was there for 2 years running cross country, track and field and distance and everything like that. So if you just want to blow past my opinion, go ahead and do so. But like, hear me out when I say this, my next point. This dude ran 6.45. So this 9.88 isn't really, come on, he ran 6.45 in the 60. Only other people that ran faster than him in the 60 this year are Marcel Jacobs from Italy, Christian Coleman, and Marvin Bracey. You know those 3 people remind you of? Oh yes, the World Indoor 3 finalists. The 3 top finishers at World Indoors in the 60. Now, he didn't run his indoors, he ran his outdoors, so I believe that's why it's not on the season's top list, but he did that to a headwind, a 0.2 headwind to say the least, and he also ran a 9.88 in a headwind as well. So I'm just saying, like, Marcel Jacobs has a PR of 9.8, Coleman has a PR of 9.76, Bracey has a PR of 9.85, Ilias Garcia has a PR of 9.88. Like, to me, the math adds up. If you're running 6.45 in the 60, your legs can move. He did this at Mount Sac, where Hilmer Lodge Stadium, where everybody's gonna be competing at the Golden Games Mount Sac relays next weekend. Like, I'm not saying San Diego Mesa isn't legit, but I know Hilmer Lodge Stadium is gonna be legit. You feel me? That place is gonna be legit. So if you don't believe this time or anything like that, well, I don't know what's up with you. But if you don't believe this time, just know this, like, this woke you up to Ilias Garcia. This woke you up to JB, John Bolton, who's the head of the sprints at Mount Sac College with the Sharks, who trains Cravon Gillespie and does all these great things, had great athletes. This woke you up to that. And that's what I feel like is the greatest takeaway from this. And I'm so excited to see what Ilias is going to do this. And that really takes us into our Bell Lab question, who comes from Isaac the Guy, saying, thoughts on Ilias Garcia turning pro? My only thought is, good luck, best wishes, we're rooting for you, go do something special. That's really my thoughts right there. I think he's gonna do great, bro. It's great to just move away from these miscellaneous meets in like the JUCO level or in college. There's no real point for me. I don't see a point. Like, well, definitely if you're running 9.89, that's world class. So like, I don't see a point of going to like a college when you can get the money from being a pro and you're already with JB. Why try and go with another coach? And JB's proven already, like, he's already done great things with other athletes and doing great things with you. So like, bro, keep it going. Like, the marathon continues, you feel me? I'm hyped, man. That's all I really got for the Running Report show. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thanks to Craig. Thanks for Aaron coming on. Thanks for all of y'all. Thanks to Fan Hub TF. It's been great. We'll see y'all next week, bro, for another fire Running Report show. Arcadia this weekend. I'm hyped. Hey, we'll see y'all next week. Let's get it.